And our friend's name is Adam Schefter joining.
Thanksgiving to you, your families, and the entire city of Philadelphia.
Oh,
you too, Schefty.
Thank you, Schefty. Right back at you, my friend. We're going to get to some Thanksgiving funsies in a second, but a rather serious thing going on here in Baltimore. Was it 4 or 5 players testing positive for COVID, and then another 4 or 5 assistants doing that as well, members of the coaching staff? What's the latest going on with Baltimore?
Well, it was 9 players as of yesterday. We still have not gotten the results today.
Okay.
Now, I know that there were people around the NFL that thought it was 5 players, 5 staffers. Okay. Again, I spoke.
Okay.
And so, again, we'll go with 5 and 4 for now. Not much difference between 5 and 4 and 5 and 5.
Yeah.
The bottom line, today's a big day. If there are more positive tests, I think that there's a chance that tomorrow night could get postponed. But let's be very clear. The NFL games, it wants to play these games. It's got the Steelers and the Ravens in a Thursday night, Thanksgiving, primetime slot. That's a huge, huge broadcast audience. The last thing it wants to do is cancel that game.
Sure.
It's going to do everything it can to get that game played. But, again, we're waiting to see if there are more positives with the Ravens today.
Is there a line that was drawn in the sand, anything close to that as far as what they would do to cancel that game?
What do you mean by that, a line in the sand?
Was there something defined as in, okay, we can go to a point, and then once we get to that point with positive tests, we can't play?
Well, I don't know if there's an actual, concrete point or anything like that. I just know that Baltimore, the closer we get to discussing whether or not that line is applicable to this particular game.
I was just wondering and not that I'm rooting for it by any means, obviously, but if there was the worst case scenario contingency plan. So I'm sure as the week goes on, tomorrow goes on, we'll find out more about that. Real quick, Schefty, I know you got more than 1 or 2 connections in Denver with the Broncos organization that was hired here in Philadelphia to bring some more creativity to the Eagles offense. That's the way it was described by some other people. And what I understand, that's where it kind of fell short in Denver with Vic Fangio. What do you know about Rich Scangarello right now?
I know that he was a guy that Denver coveted from San Francisco. I know he was in San Francisco, and the 49ers liked him. I know that there were some expectations for him in Philadelphia. I don't know that it's his fault. It sounds like,
opinion.
Yeah, you know what? Okay, that's fine. Again, but we're not discussing what happened in Denver, right? We're discussing what's going on in Philadelphia.
Sure.
Correct?
Yeah.
Well, he's not getting blamed for anything here, Schefty. No.
Okay. Well, again, I think there's enough blame to go around in Philadelphia, between Rich and Doug and the rest of the assistant coaches and the offense of football. Blame everybody there, right? I don't have any issues with that. I don't know who to blame it on. So, but when you're asking about Rich in Denver, it didn't work out for whatever reason. I'd have to dig into it to find out, but I think he wanted to go on. I think they wanted to go on. I think both sides wanted to go on. The offensive coordinator there, right?
Correct. He is I believe, senior offensive consultant or offensive coach, yeah.
Okay. Look, and if memory serves me correctly, they went on an extensive offensive coordinator search, and they didn't hire him as the coordinator, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Well, I think that there's something in at that time to give him that title, but they liked him enough to bring him aboard as a worthy contributor.
Well, the reason I bring it up is actually more of a praising thing as far as Rich Scangarello is concerned, because we need to see something change here in Philly. And I thought that there was a good opportunity to take Carson Wentz out of the game against the Browns, simply at the end of that game to just see what Jalen Hurts can do and also give Carson Wentz a break. I thought you had 10 times and whatever. It wouldn't necessarily be a benching as much as a look at Jalen for that game. I don't think Carson Wentz is getting benched, but something else needs to change. So my thought, and some other people's opinion as well, would be that Doug Pederson needs to stop calling plays. Rich Scangarello starts calling plays here in Philadelphia.
You know what I think they need to do? I think, like Dallas, the world is sinking. You beat the Vikings, and all of a sudden, you're talking about whether you can win the division. And the team is, okay, and underachieved long enough here that we're coming up with all these scenarios when all they need to do is just go play football and win a game.
Yeah, the problem is we don't have a lot of confidence in them doing that. Given,
yeah, well, I know.
Given it's been the same thing. So our idea would be somebody else.
Well, you know what it is? You're talking about pulling out Carson into the game. To me, my 2 cents, my opinion, is that he looks like a guy that's lost his confidence. And so confidence. And I think what they need to do is they need to repair and build up that confidence, if that can even be done this season, and it doesn't look like it can right now. It looks like they need a reset. You know, last night I was watching HBO Sports, and they were talking about this hockey player. You guys would know him. He played in Philadelphia. He was an enforcer. I don't remember his last name. And he was talking about how he was depressed and going through all these mood swings, and he went and did these psychedelic drugs in some foreign country, or like Thailand or something like that. He came back, and it rewired his brain. I'm like, what is this? And then they had doctors talking about how this can happen. And so I'm thinking to myself, that, I mean, first of all, I thought, well, this can't be, this can't. And I'm watching like, oh, that's interesting. And they were talking how the brain was rewired. And I think that's what Carson needs right now. Not those drugs, but I think he needs to rewire his brain. I think he needs to get away, clear out all the clutter that's in there, all the doubts that have settled in, and come back and be the great quarterback he once was that he no longer is right now.
Do you know if those drugs in Thailand would did they test for them in the NFL? Just to be clear.
You know what? Send him over there, wherever it was. I don't know, it was Bali or Thailand or
We'll look it up. We'll look it up.
No, it was a piece, and like I said, I started watching it. I'm like, this can't be, this can't. And the more I watched it, I said, well, that's interesting. You know, I didn't know what to make of it in the end. But again, it was like a mental reset for your hockey player, the guy whose name you said, and in a way, clean NFL version of that reset, because his confidence is shaken, and he doesn't look like the same guy.
Schefter, it's on our website right now that you suggested Carson Wentz get away, do drugs, and come back with a better mind. So exactly.
I tell you, you're psychedelic drugs. Yeah, exactly.
So, Schefter, we talked to you early in the year, and you were amazed at how no talk about Carson Wentz was even being brought up through weeks 1, 2, 3, whatever it may be.
And by the way, before you ask me that question, and now it's gotten to the point where the reporters there are asking Doug Pederson, you know, about making quarterback changes. And so the fact that Carson was not good, and now the fact that those questions are even coming up, where Mark is talking about him being replaced into the game, about whether he would consider a change, or he's saying Carson Wentz is our quarterback, and you've got to make an argument on behalf of your, like, all of these things. Who would have ever thought that that's where this team and this quarterback would be on Thanksgiving of 2020? It's just crazy.
Yeah, and to expand on that, that was part of my question. The other part was, what kind of national questions are being asked about Doug Pederson, or what's being said around the league about him? I know you get that window, and he should, after winning a Super Bowl, the great season he had then. But is there as many questions going on about the head coach as are going on about the starting quarterback?
Well, you do get that window, and Doug Pederson's a great man and a great coach. But we all know, and I've said this to you before, that if this team keeps losing, that I want blood. So 5-11, and loses out on the tie for that division title. My question is for that.
Yeah.
Because somebody's going to.
Yeah, no, we agree with you. And I thought that with his head coach, and I think Howie Roseman's comfortable with his head coach, and kind of for the same reason I'm asking for someone else to call plays. At this point, I think you need change for the sake of change.
How the whole season goes.
Oof.
Right? But again, I'll just come back to this. Somebody, and maybe more than just somebody, is going to lose his job if this team doesn't win in the division.
I concur.
Now, again, you wait to see who gets executed, basically, right?
Yeah.
It's like one of these movies, you know. You know someone's getting it. Who's getting it?
Yeah,
Who's
right.
getting it?
Yeah.
Who's getting it? Oh, it's him.
Yeah,
okay,
exactly.
And that's what we're getting to each week when you watch these performances and you watch this team disappoint, and you watch this team again not be able to win what has been and what will be the easiest division in NFL history to win.
Schefter, I know you're a man who carefully carves his words when you're speaking about anything. And so I want to help you out
You
here.
noticed that, right, Bob?
Yes. You said, and I have to ask this because I know I'll get beat up. Coach, did he have a great season and he's a head coach, or do you really consider him a great coach in the NFL?
Well, I mean, right now he's not. Right now he's not because
He had a great season.
he absolutely had a great season, and he's had some great accomplishments. But again, these things in the league, what I've come to see is they are so cyclical. With the exception of Bill Belichick, I can take you back this year, where people are wondering about whether Mike Tomlin should be kept. So if you lose in this league, you're going to be questioned. You're going to be criticized.
Great point.
And so we can do this for every coach on every team who has ever struggled. Give me a winning coach, and I will let you know when he's been quit. I don't ever recall Pete Carroll being questioned. I think that may be a function of the market he's in. Having been an intern at one point in my life in Seattle, it's just so far away, and it's like its own little country that they live in their own little world there. So, I think he's kind of immune to that. Last year, Sean McVay. Oh, maybe he's not the boy wonder. What's wrong? Can he get it together? What's the deal? Okay. Mike Tomlin. I've heard when the Steelers have had down seasons, should they be getting rid of him? Should they move on? We heard it about John Harbaugh and Baltimore. Heard it about Andy Reid. Is he good enough to win the big? Oh, well, now he's one of the greatest coaches in history. And so these things go round and round. This is not Doug's year. So the question is, does he survive it and advance and move on to become what I think is the great coach he is? Or does the team sink? Do they bring down people with them? And does he get executed along the way?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we'll continue to follow that, obviously. I want to get some funsies in here with you, Schefty. Go to Thanksgiving side dish. What is it for you?
I love stuffing. I mean, I just think that's really, really good. And you have different side dishes at different phases of your life, right? Like, I remember growing up, I love my mother. She put out bowls of nuts and Munster cheese. Eating that.
Yeah.
Now I love eating like green beans, and I try to be careful about too much stuffing, but I love the stuffing. And then, pumpkin pie, you can never go wrong with that.
No.
That's
I bang the pumpkin. Yeah.
And I could do without the ham. I don't eat ham. I don't know turkey, but I'd rather eat the green beans and the stuffing and some of the other things like that. I don't know.
Maybe a glass of wine for Adam Schefter?
You guys my wife makes fun of me, because she'll have that, but she's never once seen me intoxicated.
She likes to throw them back, huh, Shefty?
She doesn't,
Yeah, right. Do you have a drinking choice? Are you a wine guy? You're a bourbon guy? A beer guy?
You know what? It's funny. 1 year ago today, I experienced my first kidney stone.
Oh, my God.
And I was in the hospital for 5 days during Thanksgiving week, and the stone wound up passing Saturday morning because I'm like, well, how do I get into Bristol to do the show on Sunday? I was going to go. They were going to do the surgery where they take it out. I mean, I don't need to.
Yeah, no, please go on.
Yeah, and so ultimately they were going to do it. Just passed, and it was glorious beyond words because it's the male equivalent of they say and then some.
That sounds terrible.
But that was Thanksgiving week last year. Where was I going with this?
Drinking. We asked you about your drink of choice.
Oh yeah. And so afterwards, when I meet with my urologist, one of the things he said to me is, "You can't. It's not good for you to drink beer. The acid in there would help bring about the kidney stones." And I was like, "Gah." Not that I was a big beer drinker at all, but like a cold beer in the summer, that's awesome.
Oh yeah.
Nothing bad.
So I don't think I've had more than a beer since that happened.
Wow. All right. Good man.
So I lost out there.
And then, Shefty, I'll make this more local for you in your circle. Today is the busiest travel day of the year. If you had to pick one person from your ESPN crew to go on a road trip with, choose your favorite. Choose your favorite.
I only get one?
You only get
only one.
We ain't packing the car. Just one person. Yeah.
I don't want to do that because...
No, you have to do it.
Oh, goddamn. Well, then I'll just take Mort because I have a good.
All right, there you go.
The wise man, absolutely. Shefty.
Happy Thanksgiving to you, your families. Bob, I have a little homework assignment for you. NBA draft Thursday, December 17th. Okay, I need a list of a few guys.
You got it.
I'm like, that night, I can't even tell you what it means to me.
We have a couple days off coming up, Shefty. I will have it to you before Sunday.
No, I don't need it for a couple of weeks. Thursday, December 17th.
Okay, all right.
All right.
So you got it.
Thank you, my friends.
All right, buddy.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Yeah, back at you. Thanks so much there.
Mark Farzetta with Bob Cooney and Jamie Lynch. Mornings on 97.5 The Fanatic. Philadelphia.